Once upon a time, in a small village by the sea, there lived a young man named Marcus. He was not the strongest, nor the richest, nor the most talented person in his town. But Marcus had a dream, to become a person of strong character, someone who could face life's challenges with calm and wisdom. He had heard stories of the Stoics, ancient philosophers who believed in mastering their emotions and standing firm in the face of adversity. Marcus wanted to be like them, but he didn't know where to begin. One evening, as he sat by the shore watching the waves crash against the rocks, an old fisherman approached him. The fisherman had a quiet strength about him, a kind of steadiness that Marcus admired. "You look troubled, young man," the fisherman said. Marcus sighed and confessed his desire to strengthen his character, but admitted he didn't know how. The old man smiled and sat beside him. "Then let me tell you a story," he said. "A story about a Stoic who lived long ago, and the lessons he learned." The fisherman began to speak. "There was once a philosopher named Epictetus, born a slave, who endured many hardships in his early life. Yet, through his struggles, he discovered something powerful. That true strength comes not from controlling the world around us, but from mastering our own minds. Epictetus taught that while we cannot always choose what happens to us, we can always choose how we respond. This, the fisherman explained, is the foundation of a strong character." Marcus listened carefully. "But how?" he asked. "How can I learn to control my reactions when life is so unpredictable?" The fisherman nodded. "By training your mind little by little every day," he replied. He told Marcus about the first lesson of Stoicism, understanding what is within our control and what is not. The Stoics divided life into two categories: things we can influence, like our thoughts and actions, and things we cannot, like the weather, other people's opinions, or unexpected disasters. "A strong character," the fisherman said, "is built by focusing only on what we can control and letting go of the rest." Marcus thought about this. He realized how much time he had wasted worrying about things he couldn't change, whether people liked him, whether he would succeed or fail. Even the small inconveniences of daily life. The fisherman continued. "The second lesson," he said, "was about accepting hardship as a teacher. The Stoics believed that challenges were not obstacles, but opportunities to grow stronger. Just as a sword is forged in fire, a person's character is shaped by difficulties. When you face a problem, the fisherman advised, ask yourself, what can this teach me? How can I grow from this?" The young man frowned. "But what if the pain is too much? What if I feel weak?" The fisherman nodded knowingly. "Even the strongest stumble," he said. "But Stoicism teaches us the third lesson, the power of perspective." He explained that suffering often feels worse because we exaggerate it in our minds. By stepping back and seeing a situation clearly, without panic or fear, we reduce its power over us. The Stoics practiced imagining the worst-case scenario, not to frighten themselves, but to realize they could endure it. Tell yourself, this is temporary. I have survived before, and I will survive again. The waves continued to roll in as the fisherman shared the fourth lesson, the importance of discipline. A strong character, he said, is not built in a day. It requires daily practice, small acts of self-control, like waking up early, resisting distractions, or staying calm in frustrating moments. Start small, the fisherman advised. Deny yourself small comforts sometimes, not because you must suffer, but to remind yourself that you are stronger than your desires. Marcus began to see a pattern in these lessons. Control, acceptance, perspective, discipline. But there was one more thing. "What about other people?" he asked. "How do I stay strong when others disappoint me?" The fisherman smiled. "The fifth lesson," he said, "is kindness without expectation." The Stoics believed in treating others with fairness and compassion, but they also understood that people will sometimes act selfishly or unfairly. A person of strong character does not let the actions of others weaken their own principles. "Forgive easily," the fisherman said, "not because others deserve it, but because you deserve peace." As the night grew darker, Marcus felt something shift inside him. The lessons were simple, but not easy. He knew it would take time and effort to live by them. The fisherman stood up to leave, but before he did, he gave Marcus one final piece of advice. "Remember," he said, "strength is not the absence of weakness. It is the courage to keep going despite it." The Stoics were not perfect. They felt fear, doubt, and pain just like anyone else. But they chose to rise above it. And so can you. From that night on, Marcus began his journey. He woke early and practiced patience. When challenges came, he asked himself what he could learn. When emotions threatened to overwhelm him, he paused and reminded himself of what he could control. Some days were harder than others, but slowly he noticed a change. He felt calmer, more resilient, less shaken by life's ups and downs. Years later, when storms hit the village, storms that left others anxious and afraid, Marcus remained steady. People began to turn to him for guidance, just as he had once turned to the fisherman. And when they asked him how he stayed so strong, he told them the same words he had learned long ago: control what you can, accept what you cannot, and always choose to grow. The story of Marcus is the story of all of us. We may not become perfect Stoics, but every day we have the chance to strengthen our character. One thought, one action, one challenge at a time. And in doing so, we discover that the greatest strength was inside us all along.